Hey guys, so it's been quite a while since I made a video, and that is purely because my mental health took an absolute dive, and I ended up being in quite a bad reading slump through the end of November, December, and early 2023. So no videos have been made since I did my November wrap up, I think. So forgive me for that. Quick update. My housing situation went completely down the toilet, so I am now back at home, which explains the teeny tiny room I'm currently in. That is my bed. It is a modified old bunk bed. So we are in the beanbag on the floor, because this is the only reading space I have until we finish redecorating the spare room, which will hopefully happen soon. So this video is basically just to give you a brief rundown on what I've read so far this year, because I haven't been making any videos. So I will just briefly run down what I read. So in January I read A History of What Comes Next by Sylvain Neuvel. Absolutely loved it. I have books 2 and arc of book 3. They will be coming soon. I read Law by Alexandra Bracken. Bit disappointed with it, very average. Then I read The Bone Spindle and the Severed Thread by Leslie Veda, and absolutely adored both, and I can't wait for the last book. Horrific Modern Tales by Nick Schroeder, just really short horror stories. The Black Queen by Jamata and Mill. Again, I've really gone off YA, like YA thrillers, YA contemporary, and so I didn't really vibe with that very well. Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. I described it in my review as soft Nevernight, if you're interested in that. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tennyson. Really interesting. If you've got any interest in space or space science, definitely give it a read. Scorched by Cassie Swindon. Really enjoyed it. You know, your average fantasy smutty series. I will be getting to books 2 and 3 soon. Then I read Begin Again, and I'm going to butcher her name, by Mary Lynn Julin. It's part of the Soul Story series. Very short stories based around Seoul in Korea. I really liked Begin Again, which is book 4. They are like, it's a series, but they're more companion novels, so I will be getting to the other 3 in there. Smart Until It's Done by Emmanuel Maggiore. Another non-fiction science books around AI. That's one thing I've noticed. I am reading more non-fiction than ever. Temptation by Selena Kett. This was originally called Under Mr. Nolan's Bed. Another smutty series. Catholic Schoolgirls, what's it like? Clash of the Two Americas Volume 1 by Matthew Ehret. I actually received these copies from the author. I read Volume 4 last year, really enjoyed it. Volume 1 wasn't as good, purely because I think his writing has improved a lot, but still really enjoyed the content. If you're interested in the history of America, American politics, then definitely give it a go. Contact the author, he'll most likely send you copies. And then I read the first 3 books in the Nick and Holly series by Dana Isali. So Dipped in Holly, Claimed by Cupid, and Bound in Cabo. Really short, smutty, very wholesome age gap relationship with supportive parents of the younger one. Really enjoyed. The Beast by Denise Day. Again, this is a mafia, dark, smutty romance series. Companion novels. It was good. Could have been better, but very good. Now, 3 Drops of Blood by Gretchen McNeil. Now, I was kind of hyped for this because I do have the Murder Trending series on my Kindle. But I found for a book that was pitched as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder meets Hitchcock, this was really disappointing. Like, my favourite Hitchcock movie is Rear Window, and I adored the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So I was expecting a lot. And while it does kind of follow a similar plot to Rear Window, it was a bit boring, to be honest. So I don't know how I feel about reading the Murder Trending series now, but I will probably still give it a go. Momo Arashima Steals the Sword of the Wind by Misa Sugiura. Middle grade fantasy based around Japanese folklore. Like, I adored it. Couple of slight issues, but that probably stems from it being middle grade and the author not wanting to go into some of the darker mythology that Japan has. But I adore all things Japanese. I study Japanese at university, so I loved it. Broken by Jenny Lawson. Now, for someone who doesn't really read non-fiction and never reads memoirs, I can only think of one memoir I've picked up in my adult life, and that is Madly Deeply, the Alan Rickman Diaries. I still haven't finished that. It's literally just off camera right there, staring at me. But yeah, I adored Broken, the way it looks at mental health, the author's humour, it was divine. Then I read the last 2 books in the Nick and Holly series by Dana Isali, so Dick by Daddy and Locked in Love. Again, amazing. Then yesterday I binge read the Sweet Temptations trilogy by L.M. Mountford, which was The Babysitter, The Boss's Daughter, and Ménage à Trois. Obviously, again, very short, smutty books. So, going forward for the rest of March, my TBR is going to consist of quite a few books off my Kindle. I can't put any pictures on the screen because I don't know how to do that. So if anyone could give me advice for someone that's inept with technology, that would be great. 3 of the main ones being The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend, because that is what I'm reading with the Destroy My TBR book club. Entwined with You by Sylvia Day. I'm buddy reading this series with a friend. It's the 3rd book in the Crossfire series, so that, and Voyage of the Basilisk by Marie Brennan, which is the 3rd book in the Lady Trent series, which I'm also buddy reading with a friend. And then I've got a little stack of books by here that I'm planning to finish, so I shall get these. So a couple of these I have started and not finished, or they've just been sat on my shelf for like a really long time. So the first one up is obviously Madly Deeply. I've taken the dust jacket off. As you can see, tabbing the absolute crap out of it. I don't really tab, and I have kind of different categories here for tabbing. I am 176 pages into this, and it is just under 500 pages long, so it's a chunky thing. I do need to get back into this. I'm lucky because it's told in like literal diary format. I can kind of just read a bit here and put it down if I am feeling a bit slumpy or anything like that. So that's book 1. Book 2 then is Of Neptune by Anna Banks. I've read Of Poseidon and Of Triton and actually quite enjoyed them. I know it's YA romance, but mermaids. This is the last book. It's been staring at me for 3-4 months now to finish it. I am appalling at finishing the series. I think at the minute I have got 52 ongoing series. I have finished a few, but like not many, so I'd say like 45 ongoing series that I need to finish. That is my goal this year, is to make a dent in some of those, especially the shorter ones that are like trilogies or quartets. I need to finish them. Then obviously Until the Last of Me by Sylvain Neuvel. I read A History of What Comes Next this year and loved it. I've read all of the Themis files, loved it. I have book 2 physically, and I got an arc of book 3 for the first time again. So both of those hopefully will be on my TBR this month, or definitely this one. And then I picked a random few that have been on my TBR for a while, and they've just been sat on my shelves. So Ace of Shades. I'm not even going to attempt the author's name because I will butcher it. Picked this up because it sounded interesting, and I picked it up around the same time I picked up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and that obviously set some ridiculously high standards. So I don't know how this is going to compare, but I do have a really pretty edition with sprayed edges, so that is on there. This one I've had, Jesus, since just after it came out, so I've had it a long time. I think this came out in 2018. Oh god. And that's Giant Days by Non Pratt. I heard about this when it came out, and it just sounded something like I would enjoy, purely because it's following older teens, so they are first year university students, so 18, 19, around there, depending on when their birthdays are. It's not that long. It's only just under 300 pages, so I could probably smash this out in a day. It's just getting my life together. And the final one that I really want to get to this month is The Butcher by Laura Cat Young. Horror, psychological thriller, whatever you want to call it. Sounds really interesting, but again, just been staring at me. And I haven't even kind of mentioned the audiobooks that I have, because I get 2 credits a month from Audible. So yeah, I will be making a separate video going through my finished and unfinished series and what I plan to prioritize this year. So do be on the lookout for that, and I will see you soon.